Few bands reshaped jazz the way Return to Forever did. Blending electric energy with jazz complexity, they weren't just a band, they were a movement. Led by the brilliant Chick Corea, Return to Forever exploded onto the scene in the early 1970s, bringing with them a fusion of styles that challenged the definition of jazz itself. This is their story. Return to Forever was born from the creative fire of Chick Corea, a pianist who had already made waves with Miles Davis during the birth of jazz fusion. After breaking from Miles, Corea sought a platform to explore his expanding musical vision, a mix of Latin rhythms, electric textures, and jazz improvisation. He formed Return to Forever in 1972, initially as an acoustic-electric hybrid ensemble featuring Brazilian singer Flora Purim, drummer Airto Moreira, and bassist Stanley Clarke. The group's early sound, heard on Light as a Feather, leaned toward Latin jazz and samba. But by their third album, Hymn of the Seventh Galaxy, everything changed. Purim and Moreira departed. In their place came electric drummer Lenny White and guitar prodigy Bill Connors, later replaced by the explosive Al Di Meola. The sound grew louder, faster, more adventurous. Jazz was no longer just swing, it was distortion, odd time signatures, and interstellar solos. At their peak, Return to Forever was a juggernaut of musical talent. Albums like No Mystery and Romantic Warrior became fusion benchmarks, combining classical structures, blistering solos, and jazz improvisation. But at the center of their futuristic sound was Chick Corea's arsenal of keyboards and synthesizers. Corea wielded the Mini-Moog with masterful flair, crafting fat bass lines and soaring leads that gave the band its signature edge. He paired it with the ARP Odyssey, exploring more experimental textures. The Fender Rhodes electric piano remained a staple, often run through amps and effects for added warmth and punch. Together, these instruments became the voice of a new jazz era, electrified, expansive, and fearlessly creative. Their influence stretched far beyond jazz. Progressive rock, funk, and even metal musicians studied their time changes and melodic sophistication. Bassists like Victor Wooten and Marcus Miller have cited Stanley Clarke as a foundational influence. Chick Corea's synth work helped legitimize electronic instruments in jazz, inspiring generations of keyboardists. In 2008, the classic lineup reunited for a global tour, proving their fire hadn't dimmed, and that audiences still craved musical adventure. Chick Corea passed away in 2021, but his legacy lives on. Return to Forever remains a defining chapter in jazz history, a fearless band that dared to plug in, break free, and return to the core of musical exploration. For those who seek electronic jazz fusion at its finest, Return to Forever is the gold standard in this subgenre. Their music didn't just stretch the limits, it destroyed the walls.